Hey guys, it's Amanda and Barron, and we are back again with Kickin Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio. Our sponsor for the second half is Vente's Cafe, and they are absolutely amazing as well. We have two both amazing food options.
Great food sponsors.
Yes. So the last item I had at Vente's, because I'm still exploring their menu and trying things, because I just always gravitate towards their sweet potato fries that are amazing. And it's like, you got to try other stuff.
It's easy to stay with the stuff that you like.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so I had like this, it's like a Korean barbecue type of veggie bowl with rice.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. So the ingredients in that is a cabbage slaw, Korean barbecue sauce, avocado, fresh bean sprouts, and sesame seeds. It was so good. And their servings
Robin's
are really
over here
big.
salivating.
Yeah, I need food now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You run to one of these options.
Yes.
So their bowls are very amazing as well, and they've got lots of different options like Thai peanut, the original, the Mediterranean, the Hawaiian, the Cajun bowl. I think that one might be my next one to try. And then
You will like it. I've had that one.
Have you?
If you like the Korean's good. You'll like that bowl.
Okay. Well, I've had the Korean one, not the Cajun one. The Cajun ones I want to try.
Okay.
So they've got tons of options. Go check them out, you guys. Amazing outdoor seating outside on these beautiful days. Perfect for like a dinner, late dinner.
And they just recently made a change to their drink options because of their desire to try to stay more with anti-cancer foods.
Yes, they quit doing hard alcohol. So they do on-tap beers and ciders and whatnot, but because of the side effects and the negative impact that hard liquor has on people, they have decided to stop selling it. So I love that they're focused on health. So they're vegetarian, vegan, and they also, their meat options are all grass-fed, really good proteins. So
Yeah.
definitely go check them out.
Yeah, I know that Dino and his staff have been very receptive to the idea of supporting the show because they want to get more of that anti-cancer type food out there.
Yeah.
So realizing the potential dangers that hard alcohol has was a big step on his part to get rid of it, especially as someone that's in the downtown Salem area.
One of the last times I was there, we did a nacho with jackfruit instead of a meat option, and it almost tasted like a barbecue pulled pork. It was so good. And then they had a vegan cheese fondue over it. And it was just like, all of this is vegetables, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So definitely go check them out, you guys.
Well,
Okay, let's dive back in.
So let's do a real quick recap, Robin, for those that are just tuning back in. You go in for your regular checkup at 23 years old, which, again, doing your yearly checkups is a big deal here in the process.
It's huge.
Huge. And at 23, you're not thinking anything's wrong, just a normal checkup.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm fine. I'm healthy. There's nothing wrong with me. Then I find out, and I'm like, wow, okay.
So they give you a call after the go through that, and they say, we need to come back in and talk to you for a little bit. And you've got cervical cancer.
I've got cervical cancer.
And they gave you the option to cut it out as well. Can you kind of go through your thought process on
Sure.
what you chose and kind of dive more into the treatments?
Well, and the other thing I want you to talk about is the attitude they had back then about the fact that things could be contagious.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, as delicately as you want to describe this, because of it being cervical cancer, there was also a concern about how it was contracted.
Oh.
True. So I've given my diagnosis and went in to go talk to him about treatment and the schedule and everything. Again, I'm real positive about this. I just, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to die.
Okay.
Doctor thinks I'm not taking it positively, even after I'm in there doing treatments. And it's just who I am. I'm not going to let this horrific thing beat me.
Right.
I just can't let it happen. So going through, the one thing that I didn't mention before, during that time period, mid-60s, into the maybe early 80s, cancer treatments, like I said, I was given a complete cocktail. It was a whole shebang because they didn't have anything real specified at that point.
Right.
And it was, among cancer patients, a bit of a saying that if cancer didn't kill you, the treatment could.
Right. Okay.
because you were getting such
Everything.
a dose of it.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how much or how little to give you. I mean, they were still experimenting. They were still,
They still are.
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah.
And you know,
I mean,
it's
at least now we've got it narrowed down a little bit so that they can do more focused areas that they're going to do the chemotherapy,
Exactly.
the more focused amounts. But back then, it's like, well, we do the same thing for cervical that we're going to do for bone, that we're going to do for breast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that can be, like
hope it's gonna
deadly,
work.
scary.
It can be scary. And, you know, like I said, if the cancer doesn't kill you, the treatment could. That was a big thing back then. And people, and the treatment was hurting other organs. I had a friend, that was going through treatment at the same time, not necessarily a friend, an acquaintance. And because of the treatment, both her kidneys died.
Oh, wow.
And she was on a kidney transplant
Yeah.
for years and
Oh,
years.
geez.
And she'd go in treat her kidneys. She'd go in for her chemo. I mean, her life was doctor driven.
Yeah.
To the point where her husband said there's nobody, I can't remember if she was alone in life with no family or what, but they just never could find anybody that would match her. So her husband went to the Mayo Clinic at that time to try an experimental procedure where he took meds to change all of his pH
Oh, wow.
to match hers.
Oh, wow.
It was so painful.
Oh, I can
And it
only
was
imagine.
horrific for him.
Because then he was going to donate one of his kidneys
Because he was
to
donating,
her.
yep, and he was able to
No
eventually. I think it was a year process, and both of them lived happily ever after. You know,
But I'll bet that
Yeah.
was not the norm. That was less
not
common.
the norm,
Right.
And his process through this was, 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 that made that.
Wow.
He doesn't know. The family didn't know anybody else that went through that experimental process and made it.
Yeah.
Because it was horrible for him as well to go through that. So the treatment during that time period was barbaric at best. And
Yeah.
you just had to have a really good attitude. And there were kids, 10-year-olds and babies going through this all at once. And it was heartbreaking. Okay, let's see.
Just kind of some of the treatment process. Well, and I think it's interesting you said that the kids would get the same
Yeah.
that
Oh,
you
yeah.
would get.
That is scary.
They would get the same treatment that I would get. Now, I'm going to assume that their treatment was not as much quantity, but they were getting the same thing. And now it's so much better for kids. The process is
So the survival rate for children is a lot higher than it used
a
to be.
lot higher. And, going through some part of that experimental stuff, it was, hey, if it's going to work, and how are they going to know if it works or not if somebody doesn't step up? So just do it.
Yeah.
How
How long were you treated for? How long was that process?
It was about 6 or 8 months, truthfully. And then a year after I got the letter and the call that I was in remission. And I tell you, at that age and having it then and so early in life, it made me nervous all the time. I was a very active individual. I
So
always
it made
tried to
you
eat right.
nervous and concerned it was going to come back?
Yeah, and I was going to come back because a lot of people, it did come back. There was one lady who I had met just waiting for my treatment. She was on her third round of cancer going through
wow.
treatment. And then poof, I didn't see her ever again. And so, yeah, it was...
Those types of things kind of sit in the back of your mind.
Yeah, they do. So being very active at a young age, I was a skier, I was a softball player, I was just dancing all the time. There were times when my weight would go up and down, but I'll tell you, if it dropped 7 pounds and I knew I had not been that active and I'd been eating like a little piggy, I was right there. I didn't even make an appointment. I just went in the oncology department and said, I need to be tested right now, right now. And no, I'm not waiting 2 weeks for results.
Right.
I want to. I know that you get those results in 3 to 4 days, so
I want them.
I want them then. And
How many years did that fear continue to hold with you?
it was probably probably the next 10 years
Yeah.
before it started drifting and I wasn't so afraid. And I could account then. I had stress in my life. I'm okay. Just calm down, Robin.
Right.
You know, so I go eat a fast food burger for the chub, you know, to get chubby. And I'd go, okay, if you lose this weight, then okay, you need to really worry about it. Because that was my tell. It was
The weight
the
loss.
weight loss
weight
at
loss
that
was a
time was
concern.
one of the symptoms. Weight loss, fatigue, muscle atrophy were the first three on the top of the list.
Yeah.
And if I were, like I said, if I were to lose more than 7 pounds, I was in there getting checked.
Right.
Because I knew it worked this first time, the treatment, and I wanted it to work every other time.
Mm-hmm.
And by then I knew that early treatment was very important for early
Detection.
detection is very important, and to get in there as soon as possible. And you know, I go in for my regular exams today. I'm 71 years old, and I'm just very blessed that I've never come out of remission. But
Yeah.
every time I go in, you know, there's that little fear. Am
Oh,
I going to
yeah.
get the letter in the mail, or am I
Right.
going to get the phone call?
Yeah.
And I just get the letter now, and
Yeah.
I'm just so happy about it.
Can we touch on some of your side effects? We kind of briefly touched on like your body was warm to the core,
Yeah.
fatigue, because you seem so positive about it all. Like, was there any part that was difficult or hard, or that just kind of got you down and out?
This is really vain. Losing my hair.
Yeah,
That was, you know, when
Well,
you're 20.
in your 20s, not having hair.
part of your identity.
Sure.
It wasn't. And I'm Native American. I have hair. I got a lot of hair. And so for it to go away was like, oh, wow, I'm chilly. Well, yeah, get a hat on, put a scarf on. It's winter. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it was, but that was the worst part for me. That and the
Well,
food tasting
the
like
taste
metal.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was hard, and losing that weight. But I lost that weight only because of the treatment itself and my inability to really overcome and eat. No matter how hard I try, you know, I'd hold my nose and drink and swallow. Chewing
Right.
wasn't even an option because
Yeah.
the food would be in my mouth too long. And
It's funny you talk about holding your nose and swallowing, because years ago when Brenda first went through her battle, she would grow all this food and she would juice it all up, and it was just a really green, thick concoction that she created, and it was pretty nasty tasting.
poor thing.
Yeah, and so she'd plug her nose and she'd go, "Cancer hates it, so I'm just going to chug it down."
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Taking one for the team.
at least that one was effectively working, as opposed to
for
the
her.
chemicals that you're throwing in your body.
Exactly.
How many chemotherapy treatments did you do? Do you know?
I'm going to say I did 6.
Okay.
I'm going to say I did 6, because that would be about 6 to 8 months. That would be about the time period then for how far apart they were.
Okay.
So it was about 6 to 8 months. The other, you know,
So once a month.
yeah,
typic-
about once a month
Okay.
typically.
That's not very much. I
Well,
guess
given something who we've talked to, that's not bad at all.
Right. Right.
It's, but once you have that cocktail, I mean, I was down and out for a week.
I was just going to say, how long did it
It
affect
was
you for?
a week
Yeah.
at least. The taste in my mouth for food never truly went away.
Really?
I mean, the metal taste in my mouth really never went away.
Do you still have that? a
No,
little
no.
bit?
It
Oh,
went away
okay.
once treatment was
Oh,
over.
okay.
But during treatment,
But
it
during
didn't go away.
treatment, it would fade. But then the
The
next
month point would come back and it'd be right back.
yeah, back
I see.
again.
I heard a funny story about a gal who going through like you did and that metal taste, and she entered a chili
Eating
eating contest.
Yeah.
And everyone's just, and she won. And those little tiny chilies are incredibly hot.
Oh my god! But she didn't
But
taste
she
them.
couldn't taste them because of all the taste buds being gone.
Oh my god!
funny.
that was the plus for her. was
She's
the
like,
fact-
I'm going to take advantage of
I,
this.
yeah, there's got to be a
opportunity.
plus out of this whole thing. For her.
I'm
Exactly.
taking that trophy home.
Right. Right.
God, no kid. She got a trophy for having cancer. That is so awesome.
She found a spin in that whole thing. It was absolutely
and
hilarious.
that's very good. I have always believed that you are what you eat and do in life.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Oh, yeah.
I always had a mom cook meals, very few processed meals when growing up. I followed that habit growing up, and my husband and I still to today, I don't bring processed foods into the house unless it's a gotta have, can't go without type situation. And I think that was a huge support for me out of the chute. I was physically healthy.
You were already conditioned to be eating healthy, so it wasn't like you had to reprogram yourself.
I
That
didn't.
is huge.
And a lot of people now, they're so used to the processed foods that they have to begin to shift the way they're thinking.
Exactly. Your shift, and the positive thinking, staying positive in your thinking. That is just, I think that's the number one thing that kept me healthy, kept me going.
Was the attitude.
It
You
was
were
the
so
attitude.
positive, your doctor was concerned.
He was like,
I need to call your mother.
I know.
Have a conversation.
You think about that
She's
now.
too happy.
It's like, no HIPAA laws. Sorry,
We're
calling your mom.
We're so used to HIPAA laws now that we
Yeah.
wouldn't even think about that.
Exactly. She was my emergency contact as far as he was
He said,
concerned.
this is an emergency.
This is an
You're gonna let her know
emergency.
that you're not taking this serious.
And I'll tell you, my mom was proud of my attitude, very so afraid of me. She had
Afraid of you?
afraid of losing me. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
gotcha.
okay.
And she developed a prayer group, by God. and,
Good.
and so it was, if you're going through cancer now, if you've got the scare, just be positive that you're going to make it and the treatment's going to work and that you're going to do everything positive that you can do it. And if at any point something is depressing you about it, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore. Just like, and the groups really help for some people. They just weren't for me.
Yeah.
Just really weren't for me.
Well, I think that support groups have changed over the years, too.
And I'm sure that they have.
Right? I know that I had a chance to visit the Breast Friends support group down here, and it really was a case of women coming together in support, but I can see where back then there's this, because the fear was there, there was also that fed into the support groups.
It truly did. Most of the questions were, what happens if my chemo doesn't work? What happens if, I feel...
Scared straight.
Yeah.
It is. It kind
Yeah,
of is like
exactly.
scared straight.
Well, and then you hear so much negativity also that it can start to seep into you. Like,
It
boy,
does.
now I am worried. I wasn't worried about that, but now that's a what if that's in the back of my head, and it's like, nope. I need to stay focused. I need to stay
Exactly.
positive. I need to keep doing what I'm doing, and
It
so
wasn't
I
on your
see-
mind until you heard it in the support group.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. It was not
Almost
on my
brings it
mind.
top of
I
mind.
Exactly.
get up, go to work. That was kind of a rule. God bless my roommates. Sheila had gone after my first treatment. She'd gone to my manager, gone to the employees I worked with, and said, let's just not talk about that with Robin. She don't want to talk about it. She
Yeah.
won't talk about it at home. She won't talk about it with us. She don't talk about it with anybody. She's got a really good attitude about things,
That was really great that your coworkers were there with you through that.
They
as well.
really
and
were.
advocating for you.
Yeah.
They were,
exactly.
and nobody ever said anything. Every once in a while, I probably look tired, and I get a hand around my shoulder. Robin, why don't you take 5? I'll finish this up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, oh, God, you look so horrible, Robin. Why don't you go home and I'll
Right.
finish up your work schedule.
Right.
Take a moment, and I'll
Right.
fill in real
Yeah,
quick.
exactly.
Easy
And that's another thing that I recommend today. If you've got a naysayer in the family, have a stern talking with them, or just don't be around them.
Yeah.
I mean,
peasy. What's a naysayer?
a naysayer,
Someone that's talking negatively around
talking
you.
negative, somebody who's like, oh my God, you look so tired, sit down. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
how'd treatment go today? Oh, you just don't look real good. Or you really need to eat more, for God's sakes. What are you doing? You're not eating. And when you know that you've had your nuts and your raisins, or you've had a little of this, or I graze through the day.
Yeah.
You can get rid of those people. I mean, it's that. And if it's your children or your husband, sit
That's
down.
that's
and
even
talk.
harder.
It is. Sit down and talk to them. Mommy's not going to die. And don't listen to anybody who says that.
Yeah.
Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
You tell them mommy's going to be okay.
Yeah, some days are good, some days are bad,
not,
but
you
I'm
know.
here and everything's okay.
And husband, you need to stay happy and strong for the kids.
Yeah.
And for me.
Yeah.
Don't go, honey. Here, let me take that. Let me do that for you. No. When you see me working in the yard, let me work in the yard because I know my
I
limits.
was just going to say, yes.
I know my limitations. Don't stop me from doing what I normally do on a daily basis.
You're trying to still continue life. You're
A
not
normal
letting
life.
it affect you as much as you possibly can.
Exactly. And that's totally what I did. I got up and I went to work.
Life's got to keep going.
I had, some days I'd be there on time, some days not so on time.
Yeah.
But I still showed up and I had, and talk to, if you're going to work, talk to your employer. It's not something to hide. Your employer is just going to be happy that you're getting up every day and coming to work and being part of the team and doing your best.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's probably a different attitude among employers now than there was back then too.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
employers are a lot more familiar with what's going to happen with their employees
Right.
if they have to go
What
through
to
this training.
expect.
And they know you're not going to break.
Right.
I mean,
you're not super fragile. and
Exactly.
gonna blow away. Yeah.
I will tell you when I need my help. And most cancer patients will do that.
Yeah.
But they don't want to. I mean, I've met very few that want to be coddled
And doted on.
and
yeah.
doted on. It just reminds them of how bad things can be.
Right. Like I'm not capable.
Cancer define you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't let it.
How many
define
times have we
you.
heard that from different guests?
Yes.
You are a person. You have a life, and keep it up.
Yes.
That is my one thing. And sorry, McDonald's, don't be eating so many fast food burgers.
Back then, it probably wasn't so terrible for you, though, to be honest.
It was
Much different.
Well,
than it is
I would
today.
say that
It was.
the places like McDonald's and Wendy's are not the same now that they were
Oh, God,
in the
no.
Better
70s.
back then. Now it's like, what are we eating?
Yeah, they're actually, I would say that McDonald's was actually probably decent back then.
Right, right.
A little more scary now. than it was.
Maybe so, but I just knew that the fat content and the milkshake, the burger, and the French fries
That's
would
what.
keep me alive.
Yep.
And if that's what it was, instead
So
of
be
having
it.
fruit,
You needed
So
something
yeah.
to just batten you up.
I did. I needed to make sure I just kept weight on me. I'm not a pretty size 5.
Well, you're not very big anyway, even now. And if you lost weight, that's even more scary.
It was at one point. It was looking in the mirror and going, I'm so anorexic. In fact, ran into a photo of both my roommates and I in the backyard of the place we were staying. And the caption underneath it said, trying to lose 10 more pounds. Oh my God, you could see our little collarbones. You could see our hip bones. I was like, what, I was going to give up a kidney? What? I mean,
Well, I'm so glad you're so positive about it and that everything turned out as good as it did. It was a blessing.
it was a blessing. And
So how from the time you were diagnosed until you knew that you were cancer free, how much time went by? Do you remember?
I just said
I'm
8
getting
months.
about a year, year and a
About a
half.
year?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a little longer then because they had you come in a little more often.
Right.
Because they weren't real secure. I mean, I want to say they were secure in the treatment, but
And then they had you
there
come
was
in-
still a percentage
And then they had you come back in for checkups
every year. Every year
And
for.
when could you stop going in for checkups?
I think I just kind of stopped after 5 or 7 years.
You're like,
and
I'm
said,
done.
I'm done with this. I don't want to be reminded. I don't want to sit in that room anymore. And I recognize, and like I said, since then, if I drop 10 pounds unexpectedly,
You're like,
that was
"Doc?"
my cue. Get
Yeah.
in there. And so far,
Everything's good.
everything's good. And I contribute
So you're
that
47
years.
years.
Wow.
I think that's a real big one for our
That
listeners.
is.
47 years
Without cancer.
Without
cancer-free.
cancer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's, I don't even think about it anymore.
Right. Right.
I just don't.
It's a past.
It's a past. I've lived through it, and I know I'm not going to get it again.
Yeah. Well, I know that it was 2 years ago that we honored you in one of the months that
Yes.
we did. And when I went to Robin, it was funny. She kind of got a little tear and she says, no one's ever wanted to tell my story.
Oh.
I mean, it was kind of, yeah. I never had anybody wanted to listen, And I always chalked it up to the point that I didn't go to the groups. I didn't go to the counseling. I didn't go to whatever. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't sad.
Yeah.
I just went around life doing what I did every other day.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's
so
okay.
Yeah.
I really didn't think people today want to hear the bad stuff.
No, yeah.
But
Well, and
this is a good story to a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
your story
absolutely.
really was. I remember when I read through your story when you were all done. It was a case of just that positive attitude all the way through it, and really being in good shape through the whole process. So we're almost out of time, but thank you so
Yes.
much for coming, Robin, and
Thank you,
sharing
thank
your
you.
story.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I was very glad to do this. More people need to know that it's not necessarily a life-ending situation.
Correct.
Oh.
All right. Well, huge shout out to Venti's Cafe, you guys. They are our sponsor for the second half. Absolutely amazing. Go to their website, ventiscafe.com, and peep their menu. All right. We'll be back next week
As the movement continues.